Chale, Namaskar everyone, good to go. I welcome you all on the behalf of StudyIQ IS. Myself Pritesh Maturkar. I'm the Senior Faculty of Geography, Environment and Ecology in StudyIQ IS. Ladies and gentlemen, Devi and Sajjano, I welcome you all to the introductory session of SIP. So the session is titled Success in Prelims 2026. So this being my first lecture on this particular channel, so today's lecture will be very quintessential. It will be a very pivotal lecture for each and every one of you as to how to comprehend this discipline called as geography. So today I will also be discussing with you all the PYQ of this year 2025, and I will be giving you a good analysis as to how the questions are being framed and as to how the questions are being asked. So today all of you will be getting a very detailed framework in the sense that how you can prepare yourself for FYQ. So those of you who are watching me live right now, welcome all. Kanwar ma'am, rest of you, those who are live right now, please feel free to comment. I am live with each and every one of you. And the more you will speak with me, the more you will have one-to-one with me, the more I will be more intrigued and more will be my energy so that I can give even a better bird's eye view. So up till now, we always used to focus on PYQ, PYQ, PYQ. No doubt, PYQs are important. They are necessary so as to get the trend in which civil services questions are being framed. But we also need to focus as to what underpinnings are important from future years perspective. So my take in these particular sessions, so I will be live every Saturday now from 1:15 till approximately 2:30 to 3 p.m. for discussion of the SIP Plus module out here. So my focus in this will be basically to give you a bird's eye view with regards to future year questions, and my focus will also be on basically discussion of current affairs, particularly from prelim specific perspective, not from main specific perspective. We'll be discussing current affairs from prelim specific perspective. So make sure that you understand and appreciate whatever I'm trying to tell you, whatever I'm trying to teach you. And do join me on every Saturday, Monday to Friday. Anyways, our series is going Geography through Maps version 2.0. Saturdays we'll be doing this. Yes. Those of you have joined now, okay, very fabulous names. You have Curiosity Learner, then I'm having Kokar sir, right? Shivnan sir, and another one out there is somebody called as 9653 username. So welcome everybody. So in today's session, guys, I will be giving you a framework as to how you can deal with things. So I'm overwriting over here what is our today's SOP. What things are we going to focus on? So today I'll be focusing on three things. Number first, we will try to understand the themes in geography. Themes in geography meaning from where is the maximum propensity of questions being asked, because unless and until we understand the themes in geography, we won't be able to predict FYQ. Then number two of today's agenda is that after we understand the themes, we'll try to understand the sources from where the questions can get framed. So when I'm talking about sources, we'll also have to understand that do we have any reports? Do we have any research and development journals from where the questions are being framed, so that you are all prepared next year? And then we'll also have to understand, do we have any official government documents to support it, from where these questions can be framed? So we'll try to understand the official government documents too. And then number third, we will try to understand how to maximize accuracy. I'm not talking about attempts, I'm talking about accuracy. No doubt attempts are important, but what is more important in prelim, guys? Accuracy. Because day by day I'm seeing that the level of prelims is really going very high. I am being brutally honest with each and every one of you. Yes, Reshma ma'am, Ankita ma'am, Sanskriti ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So if I'm being brutally honest with each and every one of you, I've been teaching this discipline both as an optional perspective and as a GS perspective for 9+ years now. So the level of questions in the past 3 years prelims, it has really surpassed the conventional data sources out there. So even some of the questions are tough for me too. See, I'm not proclaiming that I know every inch of geography. I know all the ins and outs of geography, that I'm a Brahma Gyani. No. If I'm saying that I know all, that I am the god of geography, I am utterly a foolish person. Because there is no end to the syllabus of geography. It's ever encompassing. It's just like the Big Bang out there. The energy is still expanding. No person on earth can claim that he or she knows everything. What I know is these three things: the themes, the sources, and how we can maximize our accuracy. That is where I will come to rescue each and every one of you. So, without further ado, let us try to understand first of all the themes in geography, and let us first try to paint some of the harsh realities. See, when we are targeting 120 plus in prelims, so we need to first understand the realities out there, right? There has to be some common ground on which you and me can work together. See, the number one harsh reality is, if I'm talking about, let's say, 100% questions, 100% geography questions, I'm not talking about any other discipline out there because I am not the right person to comment on that. So, out of 100% geography questions, guys, you will be pretty easily able to solve 75 to 80%. So 75 to 80% questions you will be able to solve. You will be able to tick mark the right MCQ. So over here you can have accuracy close to 90%. You can have accuracy close to 90%, 75 to 80% questions. And out of that, I can guarantee all of you that 50% you can be 100% right. 50%, anyways, you will be getting it 100% right. So let's say in one particular year, let's say if I'm talking about 2025, so you are having approximately 14 to 20 questions of geography. Out of that, let's say 12 to 13 questions will be pretty easily able to solve. If I add up environment, then it goes up to 30 questions. Pure geography questions, approximately 14. So out of those 14 questions, you will be pretty easily able to solve 7 to 8 questions. 100% accuracy. Then for next 30%, you will be requiring some smart guess, you will be requiring some higher level understanding. So what about, sir, the remaining 15%? See, when I'm talking about the remaining 15% questions, you have to understand that these questions will be either current affairs based, or these questions will be carrying some very important factual data. Important, or let's say one such data which you have not yet gone through. Or it might happen that the remaining 15% can also include forced errors. It might happen, right? That sometimes we tend to get confused. Sometimes we feel over anxious. We are suffering from anxiety. We are having lots of stress, tension. Guys, I still remember my 2017 attempt. So there was one question: which of the following reservoirs is man-made? I knew the answer. That answer is option number C, Kodaikanal. But I deliberately marked option B. I don't know why. Forced errors. So the harsh reality of this examination is, please don't go for this 15%. No, I'm having geography as an option. No, geography is my favorite discipline. I need to solve all the 100% questions. Understand and appreciate it that you will never be able to solve 100% questions. Even if you bring in authors, even if you bring in Sabinder Singh, even if you bring in Majid Hussain sir, even if you bring in Goncheng Leong, they won't be even able to solve 100% questions. Why? Because see, the syllabus is unending, right? Now, those of you who are watching me live right now, please tell me, is the syllabus defined? Like if I'm just opening up the notification of civil services examination, so this is this year's notification. Let me just go through the syllabus out here. So the syllabus is mentioned on page number 29 and 30. So if I'm just opening up the syllabus of prelims, see, in prelims, the syllabus mentioned is India and the world geography, physical, social, economic geography of India and the world out there. Now, please tell me, can you comprehend even 1% as what UPSC is trying to convey to you all? What is physical? What is social? What is economic? See, people will dedicate approximately one lifetime to one particular aspect of physical geography. Some might become climate scientists, some might do PhD in oceanography, some might have some research in geology, which is of course related to geography. What is economic geography? What is social geography? The syllabus is not at all defined. Do we have any sources mentioned? The answer is no. There are no sources mentioned. Do we need to refer NCRT? Do we need to refer Goncheng Leong? Do we need to refer any higher level understanding? Nothing is specified over here. That is why in prelims we are having this ambiguity. In mains, the syllabus is rather little bit well defined. You have silent features of world, physical geography, distribution of key natural resources, then geophysical phenomenon, changes in flora and fauna. UPSC has defined that well in the mains because it being subjective. Now, this being objective, where has the syllabus been defined? Yes, all of you are right. So now we have to understand and appreciate this fact, guys, that we cannot have one such attempt where we know every question. It might come out as luck that yes, out of the remaining 15%, you are able to solve 1 to 2 questions. So the harsh reality is accept the fact that we have to focus on 75 to 80% of the questions. Please accept this. Whether your graduation be, whether your postdoc be, whether your let's say optional be geography, this is going to be the harsh reality out there. So we have to go for accuracy. That is why I told you that we need to focus on accuracy more. We don't know in which particular year, which particular section will come tough. Let's say next year, polity comes very easy, history comes very easy, but geography is very intricate. It has come with one such level, no one is able to answer even 50% of the questions. Then what will do? Right? So harsh reality is number one, acceptance. And you need to do what? You need to go with the flow. Go with the flow in the sense, understand and appreciate the difficulty. If the difficulty is too goddamn high, you should become even more cautious. So this is harsh reality number one. Now, the second harsh reality, if you really want to attempt 75 to 80% of the questions, harsh reality. For this, you need to have three things taken care of. See, when I'm talking about geography, the first thing which you have to understand and appreciate is basically the concepts. Please, those who are watching me live right now, keep on speaking with me, keep on talking with me, please keep on commenting so that I have this, what I can say, this feeling that yes, you're all connected with me. So let me just open up this year's questions, 2025 prelims questions, so that all of you can understand it with even more clarity. So these are this year's questions of prelims 2025. So let us see this particular question. Sir, I am a student currently studying in class 12th. I follow your channel to stay updated and also I'm an aspirant. So sir, is my class 12 geography helpful for UPSC? Ankita ma'am, see class 12, like if you are a CBSC aspirant, you are reading NCRTs. So class 12th NCRT right now, Ankita ma'am, is not that helpful because the data is of 2011 census. 11th NCRTs are good enough, but 12th NCRTs are not that good because the data is pretty outdated. So that is why I told you identifying the sources is very important. Yeah. So now if you see the question over here, scientific studies suggest that a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotational and axis. Solar flares associated coronal mass ejections bombarded the Earth's outermost atmosphere with tremendous amount of energy. As the Earth polarizes, the water tends to flow towards the equator. Which of the following statement is correct with respect to the above statement? So now, if you really want to understand this, scientific studies suggest a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotation and its axis. So the Earth's axial tilt and the Earth's rotational orbit. Number two, solar flares associated with coronal mass ejection. So sun, we know it is a star where nuclear fusion is going on. Two hydrogen atoms are combining to basically create one helium atom, and the neutrons are being thrown out. They bombard the outermost atmosphere, tremendous amount of energy, creating what? Creating auroras, right? Aurora borealis, aurora australis, the northern lights and the southern lights. So answering this, the statement third, polarized means the water tends to move towards the equator. Now answering this will require what? Answering this is going to require your conceptual clarity of number one. You will be needing to understand the structure and basically the composition of atmosphere. Am I right? You need to know where do we have the formation of auroras. So the auroras, they will start from mesosphere and they will be seen predominantly in thermosphere, and they can go up till the outer reaches of exosphere, right? Then as the polar ice melts, so you need to know basically the concept of something called as polar currents. So over here we have Labrador current, over here we have the east Greenland current. So both of them are affecting the world's fastest ocean current called as North Atlantic drift. This question is related to the Atlantic Meridional Oceanic Circulation, AMOC. So guys, the thing is, just to answer this particular question, your most basic part of oceanography, the ocean currents concept, the most basic part of climatology, the structure and composition of atmosphere needs to be on your fingertips. Get this question. So scientific studies suggest that shift is taking place. No, it's not that good. It's not taking like these things to take effect. It requires more than 40,000 years. So this statement is not good. But we can say that statement 2 and statement 3 are correct. It is happening. Now let us see one more example. This particular question. What are the evidences of the phenomenon of continental drift? The belt of ancient rocks from Brazil coast matches up with those from the Western Africa. The gold deposits of Ghana are derived from Brazil Plateau. The Gondwana system of sediments is known to have its counterparts in 6 different land masses of the southern hemisphere. So which of the following statements are correct? So this is a classic continental drift theory question. Continental drift theory, in the sense, the world map which you are seeing right now on your screen is, or rather was not the same. Prior to this, we were having in total 3 big supercontinents and 4 small, we can say, supercontinents, very small. The first supercontinent out there, Valbhara, then we have Kenorland, then we have the first big supercontinent called as Nuna slash Columbia, then we have Rodinia, Pangaea. So what you see over here today, these are basically the individual pieces of a continent, supercontinent called as Pangaea, broken. So below you are having Gondwana land, above you are having Laurentia slash Angara land. India broke up from Antarctica, Australia broke up from Antarctica. Africa and South America, they were once joined together. So over here we have Brazilian highlands. Over here we have the Sierra de Martirica. Over here we have Fota Luma Mountains, Adam Nava Highlands. So all of the basement rocks, the rock layering, the rock structure and the rock composition of the eastern coast of South America and the western coast of Africa is same. First discovered or first given as a concrete evidence in 1912, Alfred Wegener, continental drift theory. Yes, you are right, Ankita. So to answer this question, You need to know the concept of supercontinents. You need to know the concept of continental drift. Yes, you are all right. So when I'm talking about basically what is needed from your perspective, whenever you are preparing for prelims, the harsh reality is that the concepts need to be precise. Precise concept. You cannot say no, oh, I'm remembering only a partial concept. No. You need to know the concepts very precisely. Otherwise, the questions which are being targeted today, the questions are not that easy. Questions are tough if you are not aware of the concepts out there. The second thing about this 75 to 80% thing is that you need to know basically current affairs too. Current affairs in what sense? So see, let me answer this particular question for each and every one of you. So one of my most favorite questions over here. Many people missed out this question, right? Yeah. So the World Bank warned that India could become one of the first places where the wet bulb temperature routinely exceeds 35 degrees Celsius. Which of the following statement best reflect the implication of the above said report? Peninsular India will most likely suffer from flooding, tropical cyclones and droughts. The survival of animals, including humans, will be affected as shading of their body heat through perspiration becomes difficult. Any connection between this and this? Above we are having cyclones, droughts, flooding. The next one is with regards to perspiration. The answer is no. So guys, in order to answer this question, you need to first know what is wet bulb temperature and from which report of World Bank has this question been asked. So, current affairs. See, in geography, there is no practical limit to current affairs. There are n number of sources of current affairs. But the thing is, to answer such type of questions, you need to keep a tab on whatever is happening in the world right now. Why wet bulb temperature is in news? Wet bulb temperature is in news because today we are having increasing number of deaths from heat strokes. Heat waves are peaking not only in tropical areas but in temperate areas too. So our body, once our body's temperature crosses 36.5 or 35.5, our body cannot cool itself by sweating. That is wet bulb temperature. The same goes for plants too. It is called as critical temperature, guys. So once the leaf surface temperature exceeds 47 degrees Celsius, plants they are not able to do photosynthesis. So the leaves of the plants start turning black. That is happening in Amazon. That is happening on the west coast of California, in southern South Africa. It is also happening in Australia and very unusual location. It is happening in the southern island of New Zealand. So to answer this question, you need to know what you need to know. Pinpointed current affairs. You need to understand that current affairs just merely a glance they are not going to help you. You need to study current affairs from which perspective? You need to study current affairs from applied perspective, guys. Get me very straight. See, every time, like every year this time, uh, like the months of November, December, January, everybody starts panicking. There are barely 6 months left for prelims. There are barely 8 months left for mains. Now what do we do, sir? Okay, it all becomes Scooby-Doo. See, the thing is, once your concepts are done, then if you start applying those concepts, so wet bulb temperature concept, the concept is related to what? The concept is related to relative humidity. The concept is related to basically the phenomenon of basically real temperature, real feel. Real feel is if you are having saturation of air with water vapor. So even though the air temperature is let's say 30 degree, but the actual real feel can be around 35-36 degrees Celsius. So this is related to the concept of pollution. This is related to the concept of what we are seeing right now in Delhi. This is related to the concept of basically atmospheric stability and instability. So once you do those things in climatology, you need to understand where can we apply those concepts. So the harsh reality is every year aspirants will take up the current affairs booklet, they will start just mucking it up. Oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, but they will never connect it with concepts. That is why majority of the aspirants, they suffer very badly in geography, because whatever current affairs will be having, they will be the applied perspective of the concepts only. Guys, those of you who are watching me right now, is this thing clear to each and every one of you? Please give me your feedback. Are you understanding what I just said to you all? Current affairs without application are of no use. If you are just mugging it up from the current affairs magazine, they are not going to give you even 0.5 marks in prelims. You might be lucky that okay, you remembered something, you marked it up one question, two question at the max, but not more than that. And the harsh reality, where I'm talking about this 75 to 80%. See, geography, right? The tipping point is one of the current concern. Yes, of course. So 25 tipping points have been identified. The coral reef bleaching, the mass bleaching, then Amazon, then we have the melting of permafrost, the change of the microbial life in the Arctic and Antarctic. So 25 such tipping points have been listed. So you can connect it with concepts out there. Very good. So now the third thing is, for this 75 to 80% question, what is the uh, most important document of understanding geography? For this harsh reality number 3, see, we need to do justice. Justice to what? We need to do justice to the methodology. We need to do justice to the pedagogy. We need to do justice to what? To basically targeting of a discipline. Targeting of a discipline. Targeting of a discipline meaning what? See, any discipline if you take, so any discipline is going to have its content, any discipline will have its scope, till what limit we have to understand the discipline, and any discipline is going to have approach. Any discipline will have its methodology, right? It is as simple as this. The harsh reality is 99% of the aspirants, guys, I'm like literally saying this with folded hands to each and every one of you. This is a live lecture on YouTube. Please don't let my words hurt you in any way. Okay, my what I can say, my words, they are not meant to hurt you. My words, they are meant to showcase you the reality. So if you feel that, sir, your words are piercing our hearts, they are piercing our ears, I'm apologizing, but this is the reality. This is not going to change. The better, the more, what I can say, formidable way ahead is understanding this, working upon it, and getting a way out. 99% of the aspirants out there, they don't know how to target geography itself. That is why we are left in lingo. Okay, how to answer the question? So, understanding geography or targeting of a discipline, let's say geography, is exactly what? Is exactly understanding the locations. You need to do locational analysis, what we are trying to do in the geography through maps program. Plus, we need to do what? We need to do interlinkage. We need to do location analysis plus interlinkage. That is how we need to target geography. Why? Content. Content of geography is going to come from where? Content of geography is going to come by understanding different topographies. Scope will come through what? Scope will come through interlinking everything, the analysis of it. And most importantly, approach and methodology is going to come from what? By targeting the geography through its most important tool. And what is the most important tool of geography? The most important tool of geography, number three, harsh reality, is going to be atlas. Because without it, how the hell are you going to solve the question? So this year, see this particular question. Okay. Consider the following countries: UK, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia, Brazil. Which of the following countries have more than 4 time zones? So unless and until you have seen the time zone map, unless and until you know which country has maximum overseas territories, how the hell are you going to solve this question? Then consider this particular question. Okay, consider the following pairs: Mallorca, Normandy, Sardinia. Where are these? So Mallorca, Ibiza, Minorca, and Majorca. Ruled by what? Ruled by Spain. Sardinia. So Sardinia, and above you are having Corsica, the Mediterranean island group. So Sardinia is ruled by Italy. Sardinia is one such island where you have highest number of centurions in the world. This is where you have Sardinia. I'm just opening up the map for all of you. This is where this small island, this is Sardinia. So this is Mallorca, Majorca, and Ibiza. This is Sardinia, this is Corsica, and Normandy you have above over here, Normandy beach out here. So Normandy is ruled by France. So unless and until you don't know pinpointed atlas, how the hell are we going to solve this question? So majority of the aspirants, when they saw this question this year, I got called, sir, the entries were too complex. How can they ask such factual questions? My first question to all of them was, did you understand why this was asked? Why Sardinia was asked? Why Mallorca was asked? Why Normandy was asked? What is basically the premise of asking all of this? Demography is in news. Recently, we are having very much political shifts, lots and lots of civil conflicts. World is on the brink of war. So if you are saying that you have not heard the name Normandy in history, then I'm sorry to say, you have not studied for civil services properly. If you are understanding history for understanding World Wars, Normandy is for sure going to come. If you go by the recent reports of United Nations, Sardinia, the blue zones of the world, where we have majority of centurions, they are going to come. Mallorca, Mediterranean islands. If you are not following basically the current affairs surrounding the West Asia and North Africa, the Wana region, so you won't be able to understand this question. The thing is, guys, first we keep on blaming civil services. We keep on blaming UPSC. The questions are so tough. How can we answer this? How can we go through this? The answer is we need to do self introspection. Are we really fulfilling it? Are we really going? What is the demand of civil services? The answer is no. Again, another question. See this. One of my another favorite question. Consider the following pairs: Botswana, diamond; Chile, lithium; Indonesia, nickel. Which of the following are correctly matched? So, but naturally, rare earth minerals are in news, but naturally, critical elements are in news, but naturally, Southeast Asia is in news. Why? Because the entire focus of manufacturing is now shifting from China to Southeast Asia, including India too. So, Botswana over here in Africa, right? This particular part. But naturally, the Katanga province, diamond, the oldest known craton of the world, the oldest known basically rock structures, this Canada and Australia. Diamond is bound to be found. Chile. So ABC, Argentina, Chile, and you have Bolivia. Lithium triangle, lithium very much in use, electric vehicles, EV batteries. Yeah, this was a hot topic. Yeah. And then if I'm talking about Indonesia, nickel, yes, Russia's focus is now being shifting to Southeast Asia. Indonesia is now emerging as number one, basically, exporter of it. Nickel again used for various applications ranging from automobile to aviation to marine industries, marine sectors. If you Google, I'm just giving you a task, if you just Google critical minerals or critical elements, the first link which you will get is basically Ministry of Mines. The Ministry of Mines has released a 60-page document with regards to critical minerals and rare earth elements. Direct from that. Direct. The thing is, we are not doing justice to what is the demand of this discipline. The demand of this discipline is locational analysis and interlinkage. So, we need to understand and appreciate that Atlas is very important, number two, and number third is justice to this discipline. So these three harsh realities, do you all accept? Please give me your feedback. And guys, please tell me, are you all benefiting from my discussion? I can see the attendant numbers are pretty consistent today. So are you all benefiting as to what I'm trying to convey to each and every one of you? Mind you guys, when I was where you are today, there was no one to convey us all of these things. We had to basically get knowledge of this through number of attempts. You are all very lucky that you are able to get all of this knowledge through YouTube at the comfort of your home location. So we should be really thankful to technology that because of technology, all of this has become really accessible for each and every one of you. Accessible, available, and of course, affordable. There was no one to explain us all of this stuff when we were preparing. That is why, we were not that successful in civil services. I may be successful in life, but ultimately I have not yet qualified the civil service examination, right? Why? Now you know the fact because we were not knowing all of this. We have understood all of this through number of attempts. It has costed us our life in reality. So now let us first understand that when we target 120 plus, so what should be our themes of understanding? What is basically the present day theme in geography? Right? You will say, sir, present day theme is all about environment, environment, environment. The answer is strangely no. The answer is strangely no. Environment is at the forefront, but what you are seeing right now in South America, COP30, it's little bit that different now. New series of geography and segregated topics as well. Yeah, that is what I'm doing, sir. See, up till now I was active on the StudyIQ channel, the main channel, but now going by the recent trends, I thought that I should be available to each and every one of you. So that is why I shifted my focus on this channel now. And I'll be here till prelims, don't worry. Just understand whatever I'm trying to tell you all because that is very important. Now, themes in geography. If you go by the past analysis of geography, like what geography is and how did it originate and how we had the proliferation of the knowledge of geography. Geography is basically a discipline which is derived by two words, geoid and graphene. So 3rd century BCE, a Greek scholar called as Eratosthenes, let me write you the name for all. So a Greek scholar in 3rd century BCE, Eratosthenes, he coined the word geography. Geography coined by two words, geoid and graphene. So geoid meaning the bulge spherical shape of earth. At the center the earth is bulging and at the poles the earth is flat. And graphing meaning description. See, what happened is when I'm talking about geography, so geography is a pretty modern day discipline. Why? Because initially the content of geography was limited to this particular part. The Romans, the Greeks, those were the people who first started to travel, right? They ventured into Africa, they went up till in the north. So they started to document everything. The initial studies, the initial, what I can say, theories or the initial hypothesis, they were all based on very weird concepts. The TO map, the earth as a flat disk, the sky supported on pillars, sun rising and setting out here, because they didn't have the world knowledge. So initial focus on geography was that of geodesy, factoring in the earth as a whole planet, guys. Slowly, the focus started to change as the people started to travel. So the Greeks, the Romans, they were the first content providers of geography. But what happened is, from let's say 7th century, 8th century CE, Common Era or AD, Europe, it started to go into dark ages. The church took over, theocracy, papal authority. So then the focus of geography shifted over here to the Arabian Peninsula, because Arabs, they were the first true traders of the world, right? They were the people who discovered the trade winds. They were the people who gave us the exact coordinates, equator, and everything. Al Masudi, the person who has coined the word Mosam, from Mosam we have the word monsoon, right? The periodic seasonal reversal of wind. So the Greeks, the Romans, and the Arabs, they were the first content providers. In the 14th and the 15th century, you had Renaissance in Europe. So Renaissance meaning the birth of humanism. So 14th and 15th century mark a very pivotal shift in geography. Why? Because we have the explorations of the world beginning. Christopher Columbus, Vespucci, Magellan, Drake, Francis Drake, then we have Vasco da Gama. And what happened is, by the Renaissance, there was a very pivotal shift in understanding geography. There was a very famous Arab trader. He went up to Central Africa. He went up to basically Mozambique too. He could not reach the proper landmass of India, but yes, he was there in the Indian Ocean also. The name of the person is Ibn Khaldun. You don't have to remember these facts. I'm just making you understand so that all of you basically get in tandem. So Ibn Khaldun was the first person to advocate that if you really want to understand geography, you should bifurcate, or you should understand geography through two perspectives. Number one, the physical geography, understand the land, understand the air, understand the water. And number two is through societal understanding, societal underpinnings. So physical geography and societal geography. This resulted into lots and lots of confusion in geography. Why? Because you had enough content. The voyages, the explorations, they started giving hell lot of data. You had Tasman reaching over here. You had basically James Cook reaching New Zealand, Abel Tasman. So data of Oceania, Australia, New Zealand started to come in. Data of Africa, India, everything started to come in. There was no one particular approach how to basically concise this data. So what happened is, for roughly 500, 600 years, the exact approach of geography was not well defined. It was only in the late 18th century, early 19th century, when geography was properly established as a modern scientific discipline in Germany. The founding fathers of geography, Alexander Humboldt and Karl Ritter, they established geography as a modern day scientific discipline, advocating that geography is based on three very important pillars. Number one, it's a modern scientific discipline, so we need to have positivism. Positivism meaning objectivity. You need to arrive at an answer. Why do we have winds? Why is the water circulating? Why there is rain? Why there is snowfall? You need to answer the stuff. Why the climate is changing? Why this particular cyclone is so goddamn intense? If you're not able to answer, what's the use? You need to have some objective conclusions. So positivism. Then geography is no more only the study of physical and human separate. If you really want to understand geography as a discipline, geography became a universal discipline. It became what? It became a universal discipline. Everything under the sun you need to study. So you need to study basically Big Bang, you need to study the settlement, you need to study marketing also, you need to understand the human behavior also. Everything you have to do, whatever is there under the sun. That is why geography is the only bloody discipline in the world where you can perceive it as arts and where you can perceive it as science. You can do BMA, you can do also do MSc. You can go for metrology or you can do some good research in, let's say, the settlements of human civilization. So the thing is, when this was properly established in 1890s, 1880s, after that there was no kind of any deviation. How should we target this discipline? This discipline was objective positivism, this discipline was universal, and most importantly, regional synthesis came into being. Regional synthesis meaning that we started to focus not only on one particular location but concerning regions out there. So Humboldt and Ritter once and for all ended all of this. After that, there was no more further debate. So after that, everything became with regards to the methods, the tools, the approaches. So after World War One, the American school of thought came. They started rationalizing geography. There were lots of laws coming in. This law, that law. Physics came in geography. Mathematics came in geography. Human behavior was quantified on a rational basis that people do, right? MBA, Master in Business Administration, that a man will go and will buy this, will buy that. The answer is simply no. We are humans. We are guided by our feelings and emotions. We are emotional fools out there. So what happened is by late 1940s and early 1950s, there was backlash against this. Why? Because geography had lost its focus. How can we quantify geography? How can we quantify the behavior of a human? Where I will go, what I will eat, what I will do, what I will want to do, it will all depend on my thinking. Is my thinking bounded? Is my thinking rational everywhere? The answer is no. Many times our emotions and feelings take over us. So what happened is that by 1950s there was a backlash in geography. Let go of all of this. Behavioral backlash, humanistic backlash. Are we machines? Are we fools? No. So what happened is by 1970s a new era came in geography. The era came of social relevance. Relevance meaning geography should act as a solution provider. It was Bernard Berenius who gave the purpose of geography and the purpose of geographer. So fulfill that purpose. Geography should help us understand what is happening in the world, and we as geographers should be able to connect everything. No, Ankita, what you are saying is integrative and empirical studies. That is a very, what I can say, an approach, inductive versus deductive. You are going back to the Greek roots, right? Aristotle. See, integrative and empirical again. It can be empirical, it can be integrative, it can be deductive also. And at the same time, it can also be based on what? So you can have empirical or you can have which is purely incidental. What you see, you can believe it. The thing is, geography is ever encompassing. So when social relevance phase came in geography, so that was all about being it as a solution provider. Provide this, answer that. So that is why when you will see the Cold War beginning, that is when you will see basically the fall of General War beginning, geopolitical theories came into being, geography started to get interlinked with all the other disciplines, with history, geography, with basically geography started to get interlinked with polity, economy. So geopolitics, geopolitical history, economics, everything. But if we go by the present trends, so present trends like the 21st century, it's all about environment. Because once we start exploiting the environment, once the environment is not able to give us the right answers, or once the environment is not able to fulfill our needs, we start abusing it. So you had radical environmentalist, Marxist mental environmentalist coming in. You had the era of welfare geographers. No, no, no. We should think about the Mother Earth. We should also think about us. Going by recent trends today, we live in basically a society where everything is advocated from a sustainable perspective. In geography, call it as neo-Malthusian perspective, where we not only fulfill our needs, but we don't compromise the needs of the future generation too. But is this our present theme in geography, all about sustainability, sustainability? The thing is, right now, where I'm talking about the themes in geography. So, themes in geography today have become threefold. Number one, even though we have sustainability at our core, sustainability is still at the core of geography, but we are also advocating for what? We are also advocating for technocratic solutions. Technocratic solutions meaning that if we are bound to develop, if we are bound to progress, so we need to have resources. We need to take care where the environment is not supporting us. So, limited intervention. One such intervention which is not compromising the basic ecology of the environment, which is not compromising the interaction of the beings out there. So, when I'm talking about themes, number first thing which you all need to understand is, do we have any recent technology coming in? This can be a question. Any new technology of carbon capture? Any new technology of pollution reduction? Any new technology for manufacturing of semiconductor industries which can control the emission of greenhouse gases? Any new technology with regards to vehicular industry, green hydrogen, hybrid vehicles? So, sustainability at its core, but technocratic solutions have to be studied. So, technocratic means new determinism. Yes, of course, you can consider it. But Ankita, let's not go into determinism, because then the uh, these discussions will become purely geography. I don't want to keep it pure geography. We need to have a pan discipline perspective, right? So, technocratic meaning you need to know present day technologies too. You need to know basically what are the technologies of air purification, like PM 2.5, PM 10, PM 1 also. Then, if I'm talking about the present day theme in geography, can I say that the present day theme in geography is basically targeting or understanding the unknown? Targeting, understanding the unknown meaning understanding the roots of the observable universe. So, 2 weeks back, the biggest leap in ISRO's history, when we launched the heaviest satellite of India, which was very useful for the communication with respect to Navy. Yesterday, the heaviest rocket, 90-ton rocket of Blue Origin, the company owned by Jeff Bezos, they launched the heaviest satellite of NASA to Mars. Why are we doing all of this? Why are we studying Mars? Why are we studying Moon? Why do we have the Pragyan rover on the far side of the Moon out there right now? The answer is very simple, because we don't know about our planet in general. We don't have any discussion about our planet. We are using AI, we are using remote sensing, but understanding how did the Earth originate, we don't have any answer. That is why we keep on sending rovers to others' planet, so that studying the primitive rocks over there can give us a glance as to how was the geological history of Earth. Yes, of course, polymetallic nodules found in the Clarion-Clipperton zone. Okay, so we have the discovery of dark oxygen now. These polymetallic nodules, they are doing electrolysis, hydrolysis. So you are having feeble current being produced. This current is basically resulting into the hydrolysis of water, resulting into formation of oxygen at a depth of more than 5,000 meters. So we have the discovery of dark oxygen now, alternate source of oxygen on Earth except the atmospheric oxygen. So explorations into the unknown. You had a very striking discovery right now. So I just shared on my Telegram channel. Let me just open it up for all of you. So those who are watching my lecture for the very first time today, this is my Telegram handle, CSE with PM. I don't bother each and every one of you with current affairs on a daily basis, but I share them only when it's important. So on my handle, I shared one very important current affairs. Just opening up that for you. So very important current affairs. Impossible life found beneath Arctic cloud could alter climatic models. So what has been found is that discovery of Arctic nitrogen fixation microbes. So nitrogen fixation bacteria have been found beneath the Arctic sea too. So how come they have reached over there? What are its implications? Right? So when I'm talking about themes in geography, you all need to understand that your focus should be on answering the big questions. What is the future of Big Bang? What is dark energy? What is dark matter? What are basically the present focus on Aditya L1 mission? What is L1, L2 point? We have videos of sun's atmosphere now. That is from where the questions are going to be framed out there. Yes, so unconventional. That is what I'm trying to tell you all. It's so unconventional. So theme is targeting or understanding the unconventional out there. And last but not the least thing, guys, when I'm talking about geography, please don't forget, that ultimately it's a discipline, right? So if it's a discipline, so we need to understand our life with respect to our planet, because ultimately what is geography? Ultimately geography is nothing but understanding man environment relationship, right? This is the ultimate premise of geography. How planet Earth shapes our life, whether it be weather, whether it be climate, whether it be earth, whether it be, let's say, water, or whether it be any human derived phenomenon. Let's talk about this particular question, guys. First of all, are you all enjoying this discussion? Please let me know. See, I'm discussing PYQs, but I'm also discussing them through my lens, through my perspective, right? See, discussing PYQs is very easy. This is from this part, this is from this book, and that's it. But you need to understand why this question was asked. Then only you will be able to prepare yourself for next year. So my approach is little bit unconventional. I go into the very depths of what is the pedagogy, what is the thinking behind it. So I hope all of you are appreciating it. Am I right? Those of you are watching me right now, are you all enjoying this? Because I'm doing this for all of you. This is basically something what I can say, this has to be done, right? If I'm not doing this for you all, then what's my purpose? Because ultimately you will be able to get all the PYQs through Google. If you are coming over here only for solving of PYQs, what's my utility in your life, right? Okay, thank you everybody. So see this particular question, right? Mm, yeah. So man environment relationship or understanding our life on Earth. And a deer in Siberia and Nom in Alaska are a few kilometers apart from each other. But when people are waking up and getting set for breakfast in the cities, it would be different days. When it is Monday in another, it is Tuesday in Noam. It is Tuesday in Noam. So, see, people are waking up, getting set for breakfast in the cities, it could be different days. Isn't this basically man environment relationship? Your life and my life on earth, waking up, eating something. So this question is linked to what? This question is linked to the concept of international dateline ideal. So if I'm taking you to basically this particular part, so the biggest mistake which Russia ever committed, they sold Alaska to USA, right? So this is basically your Bering Sea, right? This is our Bering Sea, and this is how the international dateline passes through it. So over here you are having two islands, Diomede. So these are referred to as Diomede Islands. We will do this on Monday or Tuesday, where I'll be discussing the international dateline with each and every one of you. So you are having big Diomede with Russia and little Diomede with USA. You won't believe, guys, these islands are less than 4 kilometers apart. Less than 4 kilometers apart. One is ruled by Russia, one is ruled by USA. But because the international dateline passes in between them, so on this side you will be having different time, on that side you will be having different time. So this concept very easy to understand. If this is international dateline, this is eastern hemisphere, this is western hemisphere. So this particular location will be 24 hours ahead. So these people having breakfast, meaning these people will be sleeping on the day prior. So let's say today is 15th of November. So if it is 15th of November over here, once you cross this, the date over here will be 14th November. This will be 24 hours behind. This will be 24 hours behind, right? So if you talk that when it is Monday in Anadyr, so Anadyr is where? In Siberia. It is Tuesday in No. It will be Tuesday, no, this is 24 hours behind. So it can be either Monday 12 am or it can be Sunday. So that is why only one statement is correct, statement number one. The next statement is wrong, right? So that is why I'm telling you guys that when I'm talking about geography, you don't need to forget the theme in geography, which is basically understanding the man-environment relationship. This is very, 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 very important. So now that we are done with the themes, let us now focus on the sources, because sources are very important. Once you get the linkage of sources, then it will be very easy for each and every one of you to target it. So what do you think are the sources? What do you think are the basically the text, the books from which the questions are being framed? What do you think? Tell me. So isotherms. In January, the northern hemisphere isotherms bend. In January, ocean, the isotherms bend somewhere else. Then amount of dust particles in atmosphere is more in subtropical. Subtropical and temperate areas have less dry winds. From where are these questions being framed? This particular question, the belt of ancient rocks. So question number 4, question number 5, and question number 6. From where are these questions being framed? Tell me. I'm giving you 5 seconds to answer. Try to answer it. I'm just stepping outside the frame for each and every one of you. Answer me this. Yes, sir, government office sources NCRT. Okay. Yeah, you are right. So this question they have been asked as it is from NCRT, that is 11th NCRT, as it is, no change. Even the full stop, even the capital letters are exact replica of the NCRT, exact replica. So see, when I'm talking about sources, you need to be extremely sure that the first source which all of you have to go through is basically 11th NCRT. See, I'm not talking about 6th to 10th NCRT. 6th to 10th NCRT is there for school kids. You are no more school kids now. So 11th NCRT is very important. So you need to know the world physical environment, or the name of the NCRT is Fundamentals of Physical Geography, and then you have the Indian physical setting or the Indian physical environment. So these two NCRTs, these are very, very important. They are sacrosanct. You need to have page by page coverage. But please remember, when I'm talking about fundamentals of physical geography, you need to do basically the origin of universe. There is no need to do the hypothesis. Hypothesis meaning how did the universe originate? What are the basically the origin theories? You don't need to know this. No one is going to ask you this, right? You don't need to do the Köppen's climatic classification. That is not needed in your GS perspective. So Köppen's classification is not asked. So these topics you can skip. Rest you should do. So if I'm just opening up the NCRT for each and every one of you, and if I just showcase you what you need to know, let me just open up the NCRT, class 11 fundamentals of physical geography. Let me just tell you which are very, very important topics, right? Mm, let me just open up the content part. Fundamentals of physical geography. Let me open up the syllabus. So this is the basically the syllabus of 11th physical geography NCRT, right? So what is important? Do we really need to understand geography as a discipline? See, geography as a discipline is not required from GS perspective. You don't need to do this because this will never be asked in your prelims. This will never be asked in your mains. No, we are not doing geography from honest perspective. We are not doing geography from a research perspective. You should not do this unless and until geography is your optional. Sir, for covering world geography, which source to follow? That is what I'm telling you, sir. Right now, don't worry. Geography is a discipline. Nobody is going to ask you who coined what term, who coined this, who coined that. Just what is geography, and that's it. So, this chapter you can do from a curiosity perspective. Curiosity. Just one read, it will be enough. Then, the earth. The origin and evolution of earth. No need to do the origin theories. Focus only on the Big Bang. Very, very important. Right? Then interiors of earth, very important. Distribution of oceans and continents, very important. Landforms, geomorphic process, landforms and their evolution. This is not part of prelims. This will never be asked in prelims. Never. It was never asked, it will never be asked, and neither you can have any question. Why? This is all factual. Even if you have one question coming, leave it. So for prelims, this is not needed. For mains, again, just one reading is good. In mains you can have water fjords, in mains you can have water and sand dunes and all that, but not that much of focus. So just one reading before prelims, just one reading before mains, it will be done. Then climate, composition, structure of atmosphere, solar radiation, atmospheric circulation, water in the atmosphere. Very, very important. Very, very important. The first four chapters. World climate and climate change, you don't need to do its Köppen's classification, all that stuff. No need to do. You should do another aspect for this that I will tell you. So this 7, 8, 9, 10 chapter very important. 2, 3, 4 chapters are very important. And then lastly, water. So water in the oceans and movements of ocean water. So this, out of this, which chapters you need to zone in? Chapter 2, I'm marking up chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, 7, 8, 9, 12, and 13. So these are the chapters which you should follow for getting the concepts. And very important, plus there is a book called as Certificate Physical and Human Geography. The book's name is Goncheng Liang. Book's author, sorry. Certificate and Physical is the book name, and Goncheng Liang is the author. So, in this chapter 15 till chapter 25, very, very important. Chapter 15 till chapter 25, because these are the world climates: the hot, wet, equatorial type of climate, the subtropical monsoon type of climate, the desert type of climate, Mediterranean type of climate, British type of climate, the Natal type, the Gulf type of climate, the steppe type of climate, the warm western margin, the wet western margin, the Arctic, the tundra type of climate. So total 10 climate types from GC Leon, because this will help you in going through social and economic geography too. So this book is very important. Otherwise, if you are following StudyIQ books that are equally good, so you can either follow this from NCRT or you can follow SIQ book too, absolutely no problem. So this is 11th NCRT number 1, the world fundamentals of world physical geography. Apart from that, if I'm trying to tell you another important NCRT, that is India physical environment. So I guess this is the NCRT which all of you should basically follow page to page. If I'm just opening up the index for each and every one of you. So this is the index out here, right? So location, structure, physiography, drainage, climate, natural vegetation, natural hazards and disasters. This NCRT, I guess you should follow page by page, page to page, as this is really going to be very, very important. And of course, apart from that, when I'm talking about sources, guys, so please keep in the sense me as your source too. Okay, so I'm writing over here geography through maps. Please don't discount me. I give you my guarantee that this is very, very important, version 2.0. Okay, plus we'll be doing the prelims revision on YouTube, right? So please don't discount me. Please don't leave me in the middle. I will be always there, and I give you my guarantee, once you do this, 75 to 80% of the questions will become very easy for each and every one of you. So sources, these are very important. Then number third source, of course, Atlas. Without Atlas, nothing is going to come to a fruition. Which Atlas? This Atlas. The Orient Black Swan School Atlas, preferably 9th edition. 8th edition will do, but preferably this one. I am not that much of an advocate of Oxford Atlas, because Oxford Atlas is not that good enough in terms of coloring, right? So this atlas is very much needed for each and every one of you, and I will be covering it in extensive ways. So atlas, this is something which you need to perfect. You need to perfect this. Without this, it's not uh, anybody's cup of tea to answer more than 30% questions in prelims and answer more than 40% questions in mains. So you need to perfect it. Don't worry, for that I am here. I'm taking your complete atlas. Even if you do this, it will be enough. Number fourth source, the official government ones, because from where are the questions being framed? Economic survey. So economic survey, 3 chapters. You need to go through the chapter on agriculture. You need to go through the chapter on climate change, and you need to go through the chapter of social sector. So this will give you a good bird's eye view with respect to the social and economic geography of not only India, of the world too, because here world examples are given. So this is very important. These 3 chapters, you can also add industry chapter. To do this, there's 4 chapters of economic survey next year. So the year which you are appearing, these 4 chapters will help you really get good marks. Really. And once you do economic survey, you are set for mains too, because economic survey decides the theme of the mains. And last, number 5th, you should all go for budget. You should all go for PIB on a daily basis, Press Information Bureau. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Press Information Bureau. So once you are done with your budget, just one reading, Press Information Bureau on a daily basis, your game is done. You don't need to follow any other source out there. And after this, for sources, please remember the most important source, the 5-star source is going to be what? The 5-star source is going to be newspaper. Is going to be what? Is going to be newspaper. So newspaper, if you are following the Hindu, right? So the Hindu, you should go for the pages referred to as text and context page. Sir, should we go for lead editorials? The answer is I don't think that lead editorials today are that much relevant, because this page, text and context page, has been added up for you all, the aspirants who are preparing for civil services. So this page is very important, text and context page. Then on the ops editorial page, on the op-ed page, you have a column called as data point on the op-ed page. So this data point is very, very important. Yes, good afternoon, Bulbul Gupta. Ma'am, seeing you after a very long time, so glad you are joining me over here. Then after this, every Saturday, you will be having a ground report. It will be referred to as ground zero. So please go through it. And then Sunday's Hindu is very important. It is referred to as the Hindu on Sunday. So on Sunday, 2 pages, science and tech page. And then the most important page of Hindu, FAQ page. So this you should never ever skip. Never ever means never ever. Many of you all ask me, sir, do we should we follow any faculty for doing this? Yes, you can follow. You can follow Prashant Tiwari sir, or you can follow Chandan Sharma sir. For that, both of them are excellent faculties out there. But a word of caution: follow them for 3 to 4 months, get the hang of it, and then start doing your own. Because ultimately, it's your take which is going to matter in the examination. Okay. After this, if you are doing Indian Express, so Indian Express, you should go for editorial page, because the editorials are good enough. They are crisp, they are concise even more. If you are going for Indian Express place, you should go for a page called as governance page. This is a very, very important page. And then you should go for a page called as explained page. So this is going to be very, very important. So this is 5-star discussion, 5-star what I can say, understanding. Without it, you won't be able to solve any question. So newspapers are really very, 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 very important. And now the last part of the standard operating procedure, if you really want to score 120 plus, accuracy. See guys, for accuracy, you need to do what? For accuracy, you need to do 3 things. Number 1, for accuracy, you need to do as much MCQ practice as much needed. You need to do maximum MCQ practice. Maximum means maximum. And guys, that is why the flagship program Success in Prelims of StudyIQ, it has just started. You can all join it. If I'm just opening up for each and every one of you. So this is the flagship program SIP, Success in Prelims, where after every lecture you get practice questions and you get dedicated tests, because without this, MCQ practice is not going to be enough. You can use my code PM Live. You can start your journey at a very, very attractive price of only 4,999 rupees. So MCQ practice is really very, very important. You should at least solve of geography alone. You should at least solve 500 to 800 MCQ. After that, very important, you need to revise which MCQs, the MCQs which have been wronged. Because until and unless you basically revise the MCQs which have gone wrong, you will not know which topics to cover, which topics to focus on. So practice, then re-revise the wronged MCQs, very important. And number third, this is the most important part. Most means most important part, don't be overconfident. Underconfidence, it is going to come, but don't become overconfident. Because if you become overconfident, then forced error is winning. Okay. So guys, I hope today's session was enlightening to each and every one of you, where I did discuss the strategy, where I did discuss this year's PYQ. So next Saturday we'll be discussing the PYQs of 2024 and 2023, and simultaneously I will give you brief overview of the entire syllabus also, how you can answer the questions, from where has it been asked, and we will go into the micro analysis. So if I'll picking up one question, I will explain you the topic surrounding to it, how you can answer this. So it's my promise that in coming weeks we'll be targeting at least past 10 years of PYQ, last 10 years. So that's my promise to you all. So please feel free to comment after the lecture, because your comments are very important. How you felt about this lecture, what things you want more, because the more you will comment, the more I will get in tandem with all of you. Okay. So please make sure that you feel free to comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And do get in touch with me. My official Telegram handle is CSC with PM, and you can also have my discussion group. It is called as CSC with PM chat. You can join over here also. Okay. So until next time, until Monday. So tata, bye bye, adios amigos. Keep on smiling, keep on working hard, because that is going to be the ultimate crux of life. Okay. So signing off for now, right now. Next Saturday, we'll be targeting PYQs of 2024 and 2023. Plus, we'll be going into the topic details of it. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you all on next Saturday. But next Monday onwards, our geography through maps will begin. So Monday, either I'll be taking international date line, or I'll be taking basically the Arctic and Antarctic circle. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a happy weekend. Bye bye.